My name is Kerry, and I'm a grateful believer in Christ Jesus. Today, I celebrate recovery over substance abuse, and with God's strength, I continue to surrender low self-worth, pride and impatience, and anger and bitterness. I've also walked through the impact of emotional and physical abuse. I'm currently learning contentment in every season. I'll never forget the day I said, "Enough is enough," and decided to find help. It was a Friday night, and I was a total mess and intoxicated. I'd planned to go to a friend's place for the evening, but I knew I couldn't drive. I made my then 16-year-old son drop me off on the curb of our clubhouse. I can't even imagine what was going through his mind and the amount of worry I caused him. I ended up staying the night at my friend's place and was given such grace. After drying out, I contacted someone from my church who I knew was involved in Celebrate Recovery, and I told her I needed help. She met me on a Sunday morning after church, marched me right down to the CR room, and loaded me up with literature. That was November of 2016. Throughout the next year, I attended meetings, completed my first step study, got a sponsor, and began serving at a local Celebrate Recovery. Since that time, I've continued my recovery journey. With God's strength, working through all of the areas of my life that I had always tried to control on my own. And although I have remained steadfast in this program, I have not always submitted to the Lord. I admit that I am completely powerless to control my tendencies to do the wrong thing. I've said the words to step one many times over the past 9 years, but just saying them isn't enough for me. I have to put them into action by surrendering to God's will, accepting that He will make all things right, and by embracing the life that He designed specifically for me to lead. Have I had lapses in my sobriety in those 9 years? Yes, but I know I have the tools, the support of my CR Forever family, and most of all, the grace of God to help me march on. Life is different for me today because of those people that God placed in my life. Thanks to the work of God, the guidance of my sponsor, and the Celebrate Recovery program, I have sustained sobriety from alcohol since March 1st, 2021, and anger and bitterness since April 3rd, 2022. I have learned to take one day at a time, keep my head where my feet are, and I surrender my life and will to Jesus every single day. God knows that sometimes I do things I never planned to do or even wanted to do. He knows I'll never be perfect, but He knows my heart. Even through all of my mistakes, He calls me worthy. Lamentations 3:22 and 23. The steadfast love of the Lord never ceases. His mercies never come to an end. They are new every morning. Great is your faithfulness.